Welcome to Caskets and Cocktails, Memoirs of a Cemetery Dude. Get ready for a hilarious dive into the world of death care where cemetery industry veteran Mr. Danny and his daughter Katie will answer all those crazy questions you've been dying to ask. Go ahead and pour yourself a drink, pull up a rocking chair, and get ready for some laughs because we guarantee Caskets and Cocktails will be the last ones to let you down.
Hey, I'm Katie Leverett.
I'm Danny Faulkner. I'm her daddy.
And welcome to Caskets and Cocktails. And boy, do we have a fun show in store for you guys today.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So, what are you doing right now?
I'm just having a drink.
I'm having a drink.
Wow.
Wow. Shocker, right?
We ought to blend that into this podcast.
I know. I'm having a little Pinot Noir.
I'm having a little bit of brown liquor.
Yeah, always good. I mean, for you. I don't care for it. But
Well, it's good for a cold.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. A little honey, a little lemon.
Just liquor.
Oh. Do you have a cold? You must have like a constant cold.
No, it's so weird that you say that. I've been drinking liquor for probably 40 years.
Uh-huh.
And do you know, I think I've only had one cold in 40 years.
That's it. Hashtag Jack Daniels. We love you.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, listen. Yeah, pay us and I'll sell it for cough syrup or something.
I think they used to do that a long time ago.
Yeah,
huh?
I think that's true.
Well, speaking of cocktails, we have Heather from, actually both girls from Wine Minded.
Oh, yeah, that's a great podcast.
It is. It is awesome.
Yeah.
It's really neat. They're really into psychology, and they're a big fan of our show.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and
Good.
they like wine.
Uh-huh.
And,
so do you.
And so do I. And so Heather has just a really great kind of booze-related question. So hang on and let's hear from Heather.
Okay.
Hi, this is Heather of Wine Mind Podcast. My co-host Rhonda and I were wondering, Mr. Danny, if you had any stories of people overindulging on wine or any other alcoholic beverages and causing a little bit of havoc during the funeral or burial. Thanks, love the show.
Oh, Heather, you had us at wine. Or you had me at wine.
You had me at booze.
Yeah. So I think that's an awesome question. I know, people mourn in different ways, and I'm sure people mourn having a drink. I know in the South it is extremely common to have, funerals and you serve an alcoholic beverage. It's pretty common.
Yes.
Have you had any crazy stories happen?
Many, many stories about people showing up drunker than they need to be.
Yeah.
And, that has to do with when there's a death, a patriarch or a matriarch of a family, everybody's afraid that the threads that hold the family together are now going to unravel. Mm-hmm. And that stress relation tends to make people overdrink sometimes.
Are they like, screw it, let's just go for it?
Oh, yeah. I mean, they'll go, Mama died, so let's go to the bar and get drunk.
Yeah.
And they do.
Uh-huh.
And I've seen them wind up at the funeral home.
Wine up.
And, yeah. And just go nuts. And we got to call the police on them.
Oh, my gosh.
One time at one of my cemeteries, it had a road going up a hill out to the exit of the cemetery. And it was quite a large funeral. And we parked cars on either side.
Okay. Uh-oh.
of the street. And it's a narrow street, it's a cemetery. It's more like a lane, really. Mm-hmm. And this lady she didn't seem all that drunk when she got there.
Okay.
But as the funeral progressed, her drunkenness overtook her.
Oh, my. Maybe she was doing a couple shots in the car before she got out or something.
I don't know. Maybe it just took a little while for it to hit her system or something. But this was back in the day of those great big vans with the big, huge picture windows.
Ooh.
And
So
all
she
this
was
sort of stuff.
creepy on top of it.
Well, they said amen or something. And she was evidently at a yah-yah with her old man.
Uh-oh.
Well, they had left the keys in this van.
Uh-huh.
She took off running.
Running?
And she was a big girl. And she took off running. A drunk big girl running down a hill.
Oh, no.
Yeah. She tripped and she fell. And kind of like a...
Did she roll?
Oh, she slid.
Oh, my God.
She
Oh,
slid.
my God.
And she was pretty well screwed up. And she gets up.
I've never heard this story. Oh, my God.
Her husband was right behind her, see. But he was a little bit bigger than she was.
Did he go slower?
So he did. He wasn't as drunk, but quite larger. So
Okay.
he was kind of cautious about going down the hill. Well, she gets up, and she gets in this big van, an Explorer van or something, and she fires that mother up.
Oh, no.
And out the gate she intends to go.
Oh.
And she goes right up that street, clipping all the mirrors on the cars.
No.
And jams herself in between two cars up close to the top of the hill. And they were good East Tennessee country people.
Uh-huh.
So I have an idea that there was somebody there that made what she was drinking.
Uh-huh. Oh, there we go. There we go.
So this old man came over, and I was freaking out.
Oh, I bet.
Because I'm thinking, we got this huge insurance liability looking at me right in the face.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and this old man came over to me. I say old man, he was probably my age now, you know. And he said...
Not so old, right?
No, he's a young fella. And he said, oh, they get into it all the time. He said, don't worry about it. I said, don't worry about it. I said, my God, they've done $30,000 worth of damage to these cars. He said, oh, we're all kin. He said, nobody cares. And one by one, they started pulling those cars out, and she was behind the van, and off she goes.
And nobody even acted like it was a big deal?
Nobody acted like they were going to sue us, and they didn't.
Oh, my God.
Anybody else on the face of the earth
Oh, yeah.
would have sued us for a quadruple
yeah.
fortune.
Now, I know a lot of my cousins listen to this show.
Yeah?
I love them, but I don't know if
They start tearing up my car.
yeah, if they rip off a mirror, we're gonna have some words, I do believe.
Yeah, I mean, I like my truck.
Yeah.
Don't be screwing up my
Yeah,
truck.
exactly. Fair warning.
Unless I'm drunk.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, let's hope you're not doing that. It's kind of frowned upon these days.
But it was really, really something.
Oh my God, that is just crazy. Is that like the only time you've ever had something weird like that? Or is it all kind of like...
Oh, no, there's all the time there's drunk people.
All the time?
All the time there's drunk people. You know,
And it's so strange when you're around drunk people and you're not drunk.
Well,
That's where it gets weird. You're like, wait a second, am I like that when I drink? I sure hope not.
There's an old man I used to work with down in Mississippi, and he used to say the two most obnoxious things in the world is a drunk man to a sober man, and a sober man to a drunk man.
I think I would agree with him.
And I think he's right.
Yeah, he's a
right.
smart guy.
But there's all the time people are, you know, you heard the term drowning their sorrows or whatever. But in one particular instance, they weren't necessarily drowning their sorrows.
Uh-oh.
I had this great big ground superintendent at one of these cemeteries, and he was from Scranton, Pennsylvania.
You know, I remember him.
Yeah.
So, y'all, sidebar, I remember specifically at Thanksgiving when I was a little kid, or a Christmas or something.
Thanksgiving.
And he showed up at our house randomly, and he had a giant dead deer in the back of his truck.
Two dead
Just
deers.
to like stop by and show small children. It was horrifying. But anyway, I do remember this man, and he was huge.
Welcome
He was
to,
like a monster of a man.
welcome to East Tennessee.
Yeah.
But he heard this music. We had a Jewish cemetery.
Mm-hmm.
And to separate the Jewish cemetery from the other cemetery, we grew about a 10-foot tall hedge all the way around it that boxed it in. And they had their own narrow opening that was specific to their religious requirements.
Okay.
And so he's walking by and he hears this music on the other side of this hedge. And he thought this was pretty weird.
Yeah, that is pretty strange.
Because we didn't have a burial or anything.
Yeah, you don't have like music piped down in the cemetery.
And when Orthodox Jews go to visit, they don't carry a boombox.
Right.
You know?
That would be strange.
Yeah. So anyway, he comes around the corner there, and he sees these empty wine bottles. He sees this big boombox there, and he sees two people buck ass naked.
No!
Buck naked, going to town
Oh
on
my
a big
God!
blanket, and right in the cemetery.
Oh my God, I am dying.
And he freaked out. And he went over there and he said, "Hey, fella, you can't be doing this. This is a cemetery. This is sacred ground. You can't be doing this. I mean, get up and get out of here." And the guy looked over his shoulder and said, "Give me a minute."
Oh my God, no, he didn't.
Yeah,
he didn't.
I asked him, I said, "Well, what'd you do?" He said, "Hell, I gave him." He said, "A little bit, they came walking out, putting their clothes on."
Oh my God. How mortifying.
Well,
I mean,
it didn't seem to bother either one of them.
I mean, if they're two consensual adults, you do whatever you need to do.
Exactly.
But don't do it in public places. At a cemetery.
In a cemetery. I mean, you know.
That's like
Come on.
all the family comes and visits.
Yeah,
It's kind of gross.
They stand on that ground.
Ew. Definitely not the conversation I want to have with my dad. I'll be honest with you.
But it was a odd occasion.
Yeah.
And of course, you're always finding the odd drunk that's down drinking their sorrows away because their mama died 15 years ago,
And they're sitting there.
They're just now finding out about it.
Oh,
or
that's pitiful.
Something, you know.
I had somebody ask me the other day. I was at the miniature golf course.
Yeah.
And
Really?
yeah.
I didn't realize you were a miniature golfer.
Yeah, I was this one day.
wow.
And he
Is that
asked
the
me.
PGA.
Yeah, it's PGA approved. But he was asking me about. I gave him our card. You know how we like to do. And I said, yeah. I said, you call us a question. He goes, I have a question. Do you ever find people living in the cemetery? Or, like, you do?
Yeah.
Is there alcohol involved where they, like, sleep over in the cemetery?
No.
Like, or do you think they're, like...
Well, we had, at one of our cemeteries, we had a Christ tomb, which was actually carved out of a big piece of stone.
Oh, beautiful.
Okay, and we had another piece of stone to put over the hole. Okay, but we had it rolled back because of resurrection and all that. So anyway, it was down in a part of the cemetery that during the winter time we don't get down there much because grass ain't growing, it's no weeds to do, you know. And it was an older section, so we weren't doing that many burials. And some little old lady came into the office, and she was really upset. Really uber upset. She had gone down there because her parents, and she was 100 or something.
Really?
But she was down there because her parents were buried
Oh,
there.
wow.
And she was putting out flowers. And there was a naked man there.
What?
Washing with a bowl of water.
In the cold? Outside?
Yeah.
Oh,
he was washing
Lord.
in a bowl of water. And I told that great big guy. I said, go down there and check that out. I wasn't gonna go check it out.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're real brave.
yeah.
You're real brave until something does come up. Then we're like, who might be bigger than me who can handle this?
I'm real brave talking.
Yeah, yeah.
Doing, not
Yeah,
so much.
you can hype them up. You'll be like, get down there. It'll be awesome.
You can do this. You can do this. Show no mercy. But he got down there, and come to find out, there was this old homeless guy. He had long hair, long beard. And,
Yeah.
Hey, kudos. He was giving himself a bath, you know? And,
But just not in front of 100-year-old ladies.
yeah, well, he didn't see her.
Oh, okay.
You know, he wasn't.
He
walking
wasn't
out.
waiting on her to get there to do
He
it.
wasn't going to say, Ethel Jane, look at this.
Yeah.
But he was washed himself, and he was in the process of getting dressed by the time my guy got down there. And but he was a homeless guy, and that's where he stayed during the winter.
Like every winter, it was
Well,
like his
that's what he
legit
asked
thing?
him. He said, well, how long have you been staying here? He said, I've stayed here for the last 5 winters.
What?
Yeah, and we never knew it.
Oh my God!
We never knew it.
He's a sneaky fella.
He was. He would come in because we would close the gates. You know, in the winter it gets dark at 5.
Yeah.
5:30, and we would close the gates so nobody's in, nobody's out. And he'd just walk in. He'd walk down the bottom of the hill, and he had his bedrolls and all that stuff. And he'd gather wood and have a little fire. He was.
I mean,
he was like at home.
Yeah, he knew what he was
Yeah.
doing. He had like family portraits hanging on the wall when he went in there.
Yeah,
Basically.
really. And you know, the old when I was a kid, there were these things called hobo jungles, and that was where homeless people just kind of roamed the country.
Okay.
And they worked as they roamed.
Okay. Yep.
Okay, and they didn't necessarily beg. Some did, I'm sure, but this guy had set it up like a hobo village kind of thing. You know, he had the cardboard and the blankets and sleeping bags and all this stuff. And anyway, we told him he couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah.
And
Was he mad?
he was upset. And at the time, you may not remember this, but I served on this board for the Episcopal Church, the area-wide Episcopal Church. It's like, I don't know, 28 counties or something like that. And there was a homeless shelter that they ran that I called them. They came by, they picked him up, they took him down there.
Oh, good. So
And
he had a
got-
place to stay.
He was settled in, and they took care of him.
Yeah, probably a little bit better
Yeah.
spot to stay at
Yeah,
than
they gave him a
in the
haircut,
mausoleum.
and let
Yeah.
him shave his beard, and all that sort of
Clean
stuff.
up.
And it was interesting.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never would have thought about that, and I thought that was kind of a strange question because that was, I mean, it came immediately to this guy when he asked me. He was like, "I want to know about people that live in the cemetery." I was like, "Oh, why? Why do you want to know that?" But it was interesting. Hey, good story came out of it. I
Yeah.
wasn't sure.
Yeah, they have,
Yeah.
and they'll find little tucked away places
Yeah.
to catch 3 or 4
Yeah.
days or something before they get
Yeah.
caught and chased
Or
off. But this guy did it for 5 years.
Wow, that's crazy.
And I don't know where he went when he left. You know,
Yeah.
in springtime, what does that mean? Go to Florida?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe there's another mausoleum somewhere else that you had that he was
Yeah.
sneaking off to. Who knows?
Yeah, in the summertime, he goes back to New York or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
You know, I don't know.
Well, it sure does sound like there are a lot of booze-related incidents that have occurred.
Yes, and if I could give a cautionary word of advice, when Mama dies, don't get shit-faced.
Yeah.
You know?
Good thinking. Good thinking.
Just hold it together until after everything's over with, because you really don't want your sister and your cousin to see you drunk and acting a fool at a funeral.
Oh, God.
Yeah, because they won't ever forget. You know,
Yeah.
Your wife maybe, but your sister and your cousin, no, they'll never forget, and they'll spread it all over town. My damn brother. Yeah, that's like the saying. every family's got an Uncle Junior.
Uh-huh.
And if you don't know of an Uncle Junior in your family, you may be it.
Well, words to live by Danny Faulkner. I love it. That was great, Daddy. Heather, I hope that this answered your question. We love the girls over at Wine Minded, and we are going to be playing their promo at the end of this show.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so you guys stay tuned and listen, and hang on for just a second while we tell you a little bit about our partner, Killer Trace.
All right.
Beach Too Sandy, Water Too Wet is a comedy podcast featuring brother and sister duo Alex and Christina as they recap dramatic readings of one-star reviews written by real people with not-so-real problems. Whether it's a bar's no throw-up policy, a barista who's just too friendly, or a school psychologist's fashion sense, prepare for equal amounts of laughter and eye-rolling. Listen to Beach Too Sandy, Water Too Wet on Spotify, Anchor, Apple Podcasts, or any of your favorite podcast apps. You can also find them on all social media platforms at Beach Too Sandy. We got an email from Charlotte in Wichita, Kansas. Have you ever been to Wichita?
I've been to Wichita, Kansas. I sure have.
I have too. I had to go work there.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know Charlotte though.
I didn't meet Charlotte either.
Yeah.
No.
But I'm sure she's good people.
Oh, yeah, great people.
Yeah.
Good people come from Wichita, Kansas.
That's true. But
Salt of the earth.
salt of the earth. I love it.
Uh-huh.
I love it. It's true. Well, Charlotte wants to know, has anybody ever showed up to the cemetery or a funeral drinking, like in the process of drinking, like a cocktail in hand?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a burial one time, and the funeral home was a ways away. It was probably 45 minutes away. Mm-hmm. And they, whoever it was, in the family car, talked to the limo driver, pulling into a liquor store, and they bought a...
Stop it.
Yeah, they did.
During the procession?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, there wasn't a procession because it's so far away.
Okay.
It was just a hearse and family cars.
Still.
So they pulled in this liquor store, and they bought a bunch of 12 packs of beer.
Oh my gosh.
And so they were coming up the freeway drinking beer, and they showed up to the cemetery, and they all get out, and they all got a beer, and they're all feeling good, drinking some beer. And so preacher, I don't know where they found this character. They really
Did they give him a beer too?
No, they didn't.
Are there like Craigslist ads for these preachers? Where did they find them?
I do not know where they find them. But these guys are like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
You're a preacher?
Yeah. Really?
Hell, I could get them to heaven better than you could.
Oh my God.
But anyway, so they're all sitting down there drinking their beer, and they cry in the appropriate spots and all that stuff. And so then he says amen. So they all throw their beer down on the ground, and they get some more beer, and they drink a couple more beers, and then they get in the car and they leave.
And they're done.
And they left, probably 24 empty cans of beer.
Well, that's not nice. They're litter bugs.
They are litter bugs. So we just taught them we threw all the beer cans in the grave.
No, you did not.
No, we didn't. We cleaned it all up and threw them all away, and told the funeral director, listen, don't ever do that to us again.
Don't.
If you're going to come, pick the beer cans up.
Yeah, exactly. Like, we're in the South. We're the home of the to-go cup.
Yeah.
So I don't mind a good to-go cup as long as you behave nicely and don't drive.
Years ago, there was a bar where I used to go to all the time, and they call it a pair of titty shoes. Mm-hmm. You'd say, give me a pair of titty shoes. And it was a to-go cup. And, of course, back then you could drink and drive. You just couldn't drive drunk.
Well, I work in Minnesota a lot.
Yeah.
And we were at a
They're
restaurant.
serious.
They don't do to-go cups on the regular. And I was at a restaurant, and everybody was ready to go, and I just got a glass of wine. And I asked the waiter, I said, "Can I get a to-go cup?" He goes, "Excuse me?" I said, "I'm not driving. I'm taking an Uber." I said, "I just want a plastic cup to put a glass of wine in." And he goes, "We don't do that." I said, "Well, why not?" He goes, "Well, I don't know." And he brought me one. I said, "I'm not driving. It's fine. It's fine."
But you talk about that. I was at a seminar one time, and there's a funeral home in Minneapolis. Mm-hmm. I think it was somewhere up there. Uh-huh. And his seminar was about turning all of your visitation rooms, your visitation parlors, into the high top cocktail tables.
Oh, I like this guy.
And training all of his funeral staff to be licensed servers, to where they could tell you, "Sir,
That's
you've had
brilliant.
too much," or whatever. And he said he's making as much off his catering
Oh, I believe you.
as he does off his funerals.
Wow, genius.
Yeah. And now that wouldn't go.
No.
in the South,
I don't think we'd be okay with that.
I mean, we're too Christian for that.
Yeah. We got to hide in our pocketbook.
Yeah, exactly. In a coat pocket.
Yeah. Well, I hope that answered your question, Charlotte. I think that was an awesome question, and it tagged so perfectly with the girls from Wine Minded.
And next time we get to Wichita, Kansas, we're going to look you up.
Yeah, I got her email address.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so we'll hit you up, Charlotte.
All right. Maybe you can have us over for supper.
Yeah. Well, guys, again, we cannot thank you enough for your support. You guys are sharing, you're telling people about us, you're following us on social media. I mean, the episode that we released last week has just gone off the charts.
Wow.
Yes. And I do want to say that we've kind of changed up our opener. I think you guys might notice. Some people may have heard our initial kind of carousel-y one. We didn't get good feedback on it.
It's kind of like a
sorry.
circus kind of thing.
It was really like a hype song.
Yeah, it was.
And I wasn't sure about it. And so I put some stuff on social media, and everybody was like,
Oh, yeah?
they weren't into
They all
it.
hated it?
They were not into it. So we do hope that you like this one, though. I feel like it's much more our vibe.
I like that opener.
Yeah.
It's got kind of a Mississippi blues music to it.
Yeah.
I like it. I like the guy that's talking. I don't know who he is, but I think I'd like him.
Yeah, well, he actually lives here in Atlanta.
Does he really?
Yeah, he kind of looked like you a little bit.
Really?
Yeah.
He's not me, is he?
I don't think. Are you moonlighting as a voiceover actor?
I don't know.
Well, guys, please continue to share us. Continue to tell your friends. Also, be sure to check out Killer Trace. We love Killer Trace
We do.
with code CAC 2018. And next week's show, and this is how many shows we've been doing, guys. We're actually starting to plan ahead just a smidge. But next week's show, we're going to be talking about worst nightmares.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. And I know you're going to have some crazy stories on that one.
I've got some.
Yeah. Well, guys, please continue to send us your questions via email or give us a call. All the info's in the details of this podcast. Follow us on social media. And
I was talking to a lady yesterday in Nashville who listens to us and follows us. And we were on a conference call, and she was telling the guy that was on the conference call, and she said, "Yeah, I subscribe to their podcast. And whenever they have a new one, it dings on my phone.
Yeah.
And I just have to push a button." And he said, "Well, you'll have to show me how to do that." And she said, "Well, I will, so you can listen to every one of them." And I thought that was really nice.
that's really nice. And if you guys, I mean, you're listening, so you know how to subscribe. But we do have a link to how to subscribe.
Hey, yeah, but there was a guy called me the other night and said that he rated us.
Oh, well,
somehow.
that's awesome.
I don't know how you do that, but he rated us a number 5.
Oh, well, that's really nice.
Yeah.
And guys, do rate us if you can. And
Yeah.
we just always appreciate our fans. We love our fans. I'm just kind of shocked we have fans.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I haven't gotten any fan mail yet.
Yeah, well, I mean, they send you emails.
Yeah, but I mean, like like a postcard or something.
Yeah, a postcard. Okay. Well, they don't know where we live.
From Miami Beach. Wish you were here.
Yeah. You're like, I
Me
do too. Well, guys, remember that Caskets and Cocktails
will always be the last ones to let you down.
Oh my goodness. So Killer Trace has a new product, and I am so excited.
Really?
Yes.
What's it about?
It is a product, it's called the True Detective Kit, and it is specifically for parties or meetup events or big groups. I mean, it looks amazing. It's like a giant evidence box, and it has all the stuff you need to throw a crime-minded solving party.
Oh, wow.
I know. It's like, back in the day, people used to do those murder mystery parties.
Yeah, like the butler did it with a candlestick in the library.
Yes, kind of like that, except like for real. I mean, it's not really for real, but it feels like it's for real.
Nobody dies.
I mean, not
okay,
for
good.
real.
That's
not
good.
for real. That's a plus. But I cannot wait to do this with my girlfriend.
Repeat customers.
Yes, that's true. It's a bad idea to kill off your own customers, right? Well, you guys go out and check out Killer Trace. Be sure to get your True Detective Kit today and use code CAC2018. That's code CAC2018. We love Killer Trace. I know you guys will too.
Oh, yeah. All you got to do is try it once and you're hooked.
Absolutely.